All right. Do you think creating like 10 Web 2.0s for money site is spammy? No,
No.
absolutely not. You can do 10.
Now, mind you, if you're spinning content and or just ripping content or something like that, then that's a way to make 10 look spammy. But if it's all original content on, 10 Web 2.0 sites,
Yeah.
good to go. Unless it's all the same anchor or something like
Yeah,
that,
just
right?
just don't do auto-generated. Don't make them all exactly the same. Don't make them all just one page. Yeah, don't spam the same anchor over and over. You can use the cool thing about Web 2.0 is they're basically as good as however much time you want to put into them.
Yeah.
It's a website. It's its own website essentially. Um, would I do 10 a month? No. But, maybe 10 every now and then as part of like an overall kind of pillowing process where you're adding some more diversity to your link profile. Yeah, you can definitely do that.
I would maybe do 10 a month. I mean,
Do you ever do 10 a month? No.
no. No, but that's only because we've built a different level of where we can pull backlinks from, right? But when I was newer, I think, 10 Web 2.0s, especially if you're doing things from scratch on your own with a very limited budget, which we know you guys are watching as well. Yeah, if you're taking the time to do these things all manually, then the Web 2.0 is a free site that you can write content on, that you can use. Time versus money is a thing, depending on which side of the spectrum you're on, Web 2.0s could look a lot more appealing.
What do you think about building links to your Web 2.0? What do you think the best option for powering up your Web 2.0s are? Let's say like like almost like no budget. Like you don't want to spend money on powering them up.
Probably directories, blog comments, forum links, right? Because like Chris said, all of these Web 2.0s operate like actual websites, right? So if you're Billy the Blogger, it makes sense that Billy the Blogger is putting his blog in directories, talking about it in blog comments, forum links, etc., right? And overall, even though they're not the most powerful links, they're free, you're building up a network, and never dismiss that the overall power in relevance to the amount of backlinks and unique content going into this entire network funneling down to a money site does add up. It absolutely adds up. So, the more work you're putting into creating that kind of big picture, the better that you're going to do in the SERPs. And so if you're doing everything from scratch on your own time, and you don't have much budget, then yeah, you can do things that way.
Yeah, everything we just said is true, of course, but well, not of course, but everything we said is true. But my only problem with all of it is that now we're talking about spending because there's no budget,
Yeah.
we're spending lots of time. And I just feel like the time when you start talking about spending all this time on like developing your Web 2.0 network, essentially, is that I feel like the time could be better used. If let's say you don't have the money to buy links, the time could be better used like basically doing like outreach yourself to
Yeah.
actual like websites rather than. So I'm not saying don't do the 10 Web 2.0s. I actually really like the Web 2.0s as a pillowing thing, but I probably wouldn't go like too crazy with them
Let's give them, so
as far as spending time.
they've got no money, and they need a monthly link profile for free, right? So in that, they have to break up their time into outreach. I do think would be
No
very
money,
important.
but they have to.
Yeah, they have no money.
But they need money for outreach usually.
No, I
Unless
mean
they're
they just will
writing,
get way less links, right? So
unless they're
still,
writing, if you have like no money,
yeah, then
maybe like
copywriting.
content marketing.
Yeah, yeah,
Like
yeah.
write some really good content and then market it to people and hope and try to get them to link
And
to
I'll
it.
give you this content in exchange for a backlink,
Or even
right?
just a content on your own site that's so good that they'll link to it for their readers or whatever. Especially if it's like,
That's gonna be a tough one.
I mean, if it's really good, they'll do
Yeah,
it.
yeah.
But it has to be like actually like really good. It has to be like adding something new to, it's hard to do content marketing.
Yeah.
But if you have no money,
No budget SEO sucks, quite honestly.
it does.
I mean, that's a rough. You're probably better off trying to automate something in Fiverr, quite honestly.
Expired domains.
Business
Expired
store.
domains.
Yeah, learn how to hunt for expired domains and
PBNs
sell
are
those.
301.
Yeah. SEO with no budget is honestly like,
Yeah.
I don't know about it anymore. Because then I think about it, I'm like, okay, I could give somebody that info, right? But at the same time, if they didn't do their keyword research right and they don't have a proper foundational skill of how to set up a ultra low competition niche, they're not going to break into any of the SERPs until
Which generally they don't know how to
years
do
of doing
if
this.
they don't have any budget for it.
Yeah.
Because generally once you know how to do SEO, then you're making some kind of money.
We always want to turn people on to how to get financial freedom, learning something online. There's a million different paradigms you can jump into. SEO is not... It's not one of those anymore, I don't think.
No.
It's too competitive for anything that's really worthwhile.
And all the super cheap stuff, you can still
Yeah, you can.
if you know what you're doing with the super cheap, super black hat stuff, you can still do good with it. But I wouldn't want to use it on client sites, and it's risky.
Even
that's a high level of risk, especially if you don't know what you're doing.
Yeah.
It has a lot more risk now than it did then.
Mm-hmm.
So you really have to know what you're doing with it.
Yeah.
To not get in trouble.
If you're one of these people, then really what you need to do is focus on keyword research. That's the first skill set you need to learn and really understand. And then in and of itself, you could put yourself up on Upwork and get jobs doing keyword research for people, right? There's a lot of different ways to be in the industry of SEO without actually doing the entire picture of SEO, right? So
for sure. Anyway, that was kind of a long rant. So no, creating 10 Web 2.0s is not spammy. No. You can definitely do that. But yeah, you just start getting to the point is your time better used doing something else? Yeah,
and if you're buying them though, 10 Web 2.0s can be like a type of diversity link that you can add safely every month, but you don't.
Yeah, if you have a cheap way to do it, or if you have a VA to do it, and you can do, if you have 10 Web 2.0. Yeah, 10 Web 2.0 is definitely fine. I love Web 2.0s if you do them right and not in a super spammy way. Hey everybody, thanks for watching. Be sure to check the description below for links to our blog for more info on this topic, along with a bunch of other cool stuff like case studies, our Facebook community, and our link building services. And like always, remember to like, comment, subscribe, and turn on the notification bell if you enjoyed the video. Thanks and happy ranking.